This state lets you keep every dime of your benefits tax-free, and another offers homes so cheap they cost less than a used Toyota Corolla. These are the 12 best US states to retire on just Social Security in 2025. Number 12, Alabama. Alabama, land of college football, fried food, and humidity so thick it could qualify as soup. But here's the thing, if you're trying to retire on just Social Security, this place actually works. Seriously, average cost of living, about 17% below the national average. Translation, your money finally stops sprinting away from you. Rent for a one-bedroom apartment in cities like Tuscaloosa, Florence, or Montevallo usually runs under $1,000, from $550 to $825 per month in Florence to starting at $600 in Montevallo. And if you're looking to buy, the median home price is around $190,000. That's an actual house, not a glorified shed. Now, here's where Alabama quietly wins. No tax on Social Security benefits, no tax on government pensions, and property taxes averaging about 0.4%. That's among the lowest in the entire country. Plus, the seniors get extra breaks that shrink that number even more. Basically, Alabama lets you keep your money instead of donating it to the state. Healthcare's solid too. Birmingham's UAB hospital is world-class, and Huntsville and Mobile have strong networks for everyday care. Add low utility costs, cheap fuel, and winters so mild you can store your snow shovel in the museum, and you've got an easy-breezy retirement setup. Now, full disclosure, summers feel like stepping into a wet blanket, and the mosquitoes here, they train at CrossFit, but most towns are calm, affordable, and full of people who actually wave when you pass by. Living in Alabama is simple math, low costs, low stress, and just enough sunshine to make your doctor happy. Number 11, Iowa. Yeah, I know, not exactly the first place that pops up when you picture retirement, but if you're living off just Social Security, this state is like finding an extra fry at the bottom of the bag, quiet, reliable, and weirdly satisfying. Let's hit the numbers. Cost of living, about 15% below the national average. That means your Social Security check stretches farther than you thought possible. No tax on Social Security? None. And if you're 55 or older, your 401k, IRA, and pension withdrawals are exempt too. Basically, Iowa looks at retirees and says, you've done enough. Keep your money. Rent for a one-bedroom in Des Moines, Cedar Rapids, or Sioux City usually sits around $1,000, sometimes less if you head into smaller towns. The median home price hangs in the low $200,000, so owning isn't just for the ultra-rich. Utilities and groceries? Totally manageable. Nothing here gives you heartburn unless you eat too much chili at the state fair. Healthcare's solid too. University of Iowa hospitals and clinics and Mercy One handle everything from routine checkups to major surgeries without needing to cross state lines. Add low crime, friendly neighbors, and actual community vibes, and it starts feeling like a Norman Rockwell painting where people actually mean it when they wave. Now, the bad news, winter hits like a mood swing. Your mail might freeze before it gets delivered, and snow is basically a second resident. But the trade-off? Stability, affordable living, peace and quiet. Retiring in Iowa is like dating someone stable after a lifetime of chaos. No drama, no nonsense, just comfort, consistency, and the occasional cornfield. You might not brag about it on Instagram, but your bank account will thank you every month. Number 10, Delaware. The second smallest state in America, but when it comes to retirement perks, it punches way above its weight class. Let's start with the best part. No sales tax. None. Go buy a TV, a fridge, or a lifetime supply of peanut butter. Delaware doesn't care. No tax on Social Security either, and property taxes. Practically microscopic at around 0.43% on average. If you've got extra retirement income, you can also deduct up to $12,500 of it each year. Translation, Delaware lets you actually enjoy your money instead of donating it to the government. Now, housing isn't dirt cheap, but it's fair. Median home prices sit in the high 200,000s to low 300,000s. Smaller towns like Seaford, Milford, and Dover still offer affordable condos and townhomes. If you crave city life, Wilmington and Newcastle County come with higher rents, but also more restaurants, coffee shops, and human interaction. Utilities are mid-range, and since there's no sales tax, every grocery run feels like a small win. Healthcare's strong too. ChristianaCare is one of the top hospital systems in the region, and you're close enough to Philly or Baltimore for world-class specialists without needing a 6-hour drive. Plus, Delaware's got beaches, riverfronts, and small coastal towns that feel relaxed, but not remote. The downsides? Traffic. There are days when it feels like the entire population is sharing one lane. And if you live near the coast, insurance can get spicy. But overall, Delaware's a rare combo. East Coast comfort without East Coast prices. Number 9, Missouri. The show me state, as in show me where I can actually afford to live without selling a kidney. And guess what? It delivers. Cost of living, roughly 12 to 16% below the national average. That's code for you can actually eat out sometimes. Let's talk numbers. The median home price sits around $210,000, and one-bedroom apartments often go for under $1,100, especially in smaller cities. Taxes, shockingly fair. No tax on Social Security for most retirees, plus deductions on other retirement income. Property taxes average under 1%, and your car registration won't require a blood oath. Everyday costs, from dentist visits to diner pancakes, are refreshingly normal, and if you've seen pancake prices in California lately, you know that's saying something. Healthcare is solid. Kansas City and St. Louis have nationally ranked hospital systems, while the mid-sized cities hold their own with quality clinics. And when you're not at the doctor, there's plenty to do. Hiking in Mark Twain National Forest, fishing at Table Rock Lake, or catching live music in Branson, the Las Vegas of people who go to bed by 10. Now, weather in Missouri is creative. Hoodie in the morning, sunscreen at noon, thunderstorm by dinner, and sure, a few neighborhoods in the big cities require common sense and locked doors. But overall, Missouri nails the basics. It's affordable, stable, and surprisingly fun. Number 8. Maine. The land of lobster rolls, lighthouses, and dramatic winters. But here's the thing, if you're retiring on just Social Security, this calm little corner might actually be your financial sweet spot. Cost of living, manageable, about average nationally, but the trick is where you plant your rocking chair. Smaller towns like Bangor, Augusta, or Lewiston keep things sane. A one-bedroom runs in the low thousands, and homes in the high 200,000s are still on the menu if you don't need an ocean view. And here's the thing, no tax on Social Security, plus deductions on other retirement income. Healthcare's another quiet win. Portland, Bangor, and Lewiston anchor hospital networks that rank among the best in New England. Add clean air, walkable town centers, and neighbors who shovel your driveway before you even wake up, and you start to wonder if you accidentally wandered into a Hallmark movie. Now, let's be real, winters are brutal. Heating costs aren't cute either, but the state helps with energy programs, and honestly, the trade-off is peace and safety. Crime's low, noise is lower, and your biggest danger might be slipping on ice while carrying fresh-baked bread from the farmer's market. Living in Maine is a vibe. Sure, you'll freeze half the year, but you'll do it debt-free with good neighbors and better chowder. Number 7. South Dakota. The land of Mount Rushmore, endless sky, and unbelievably strong wind. But if you're trying to retire on just Social Security, this place wins. Here's why. No state income tax. None. Zero. Zip. That means your Social Security and retirement checks stay yours, not ours like in some states. The cost of living runs below national averages, and median home prices hover in the upper $200,000. In cities like Sioux Falls or Rapid City, one-bedroom apartments often rent around $1,100 or less. Property taxes land near 1.1%, not dirt cheap but consistent, and that's half the battle when you're budgeting. Healthcare, surprisingly top tier for such a small state. Sioux Falls consistently ranks among the best cities in the US for senior care, with hospitals and specialists that actually answer the phone. Violent crime is rare, neighborhoods are tidy, and people still wave just because they feel like it. Lifestyle-wise, it's peaceful but not boring. You've got Badlands road trips, Black Hills trails, and enough small-town festivals to keep your social calendar gently occupied. Sure, winters are extra, the kind where your snow shovel becomes part of your personality and the wind relocates your trash can into the next county. But the payoff? Financial calm. You keep your money, you sleep through the night, and you never again have to choose between heating the house or eating dinner. Number 6. Indiana. The home of basketball, cornfields, and the quiet magic of affordable living. It's not glamorous, but that's kind of the point. Start with the math. Cost of living about 12% below national average. Median home price? Around $195,000. Rent for a one-bedroom in Fort Wayne, Evansville, or Muncie sits comfortably under 4 digits. You get paved roads, actual hospitals, and grocery bills that don't make you question reality. Taxes are friendly too. No tax on Social Security, and a flat 3% income tax on other retirement money, predictable, simple, and way less sneaky than most states. Utilities, groceries, and insurance all stay in the reasonable adult category, so your Social Security check actually lasts until the end of the month. Healthcare's solid in the bigger hubs. Indianapolis has multiple top-rated hospitals, and even mid-sized cities hold their own. Weather, though, a bit of a wild card. One day you're in a t-shirt, the next you're scraping frost off your car with a loyalty card. But hey, 4 real seasons mean 4 excuses to eat comfort food. No, you won't find ocean views or avocado toast cafes here. Indiana is for retirees who want real life, not reality TV, a place where fixed income still means freedom, not sacrifice. Number 5, Arkansas. The state everyone forgets about until they see the prices and go, wait, how much for a house? Yep, this place is the sleeper hit of budget-friendly retirement. The cost of living, about 14% below the national average. Median home price, roughly $180,000. Rent, you can still score a decent 1-bedroom for under $900. In 2025, that's practically a fairy tale. Groceries, gas, and even insurance hang out in the reasonable zone, which is a refreshing change from, well, everywhere else. Taxes are where Arkansas quietly flexes. No tax on Social Security, and retirees can deduct up to $6,000 of other retirement income. Property taxes? Around 0.6%, one of the lowest rates in the country. Translation: more cash for barbecue, not bureaucrats. Healthcare's solid, especially around Little Rock, Fayetteville, Jonesboro, and Hot Springs. You've got reliable hospitals, good specialists, and actual appointment availability, not see you in 6 months energy. Plus, Arkansas is ridiculously pretty. Think Ozark trails, Buffalo River kayaking, and lakes that don't require a yacht club membership. Fayetteville and Bentonville even sneak in some artsy, outdoorsy, hipster light charm, all without hipster prices. Now, yes, the weather can't make up its mind. Tornadoes drop by uninvited, humidity crashes your plans, and storms sometimes audition for disaster movies. But when you balance the math, it's hard to complain. Arkansas gives you low housing, low taxes, high scenery, and the rare ability to retire without immediately Googling how to sell a kidney. Number 4, Ohio. The definition of underrated. It's not fancy, it's not coastal, but it is one of the few places left in America where Social Security alone can still fund an actual life, and not just a subscription to stress. Let's get to the good part. The cost of living runs about 11% below the national average. Median home prices sit around the mid $200,000, and you can rent a 1-bedroom in places like Dayton, Toledo, or Columbus suburbs for $800 to $900. That's cheaper than most people's car payment. Taxes. Surprisingly kind. Social Security's tax-free, and retirees can grab credits on other retirement income. Property taxes vary, sure, but if you pick the right zip code, you'll keep your bills lower than your blood pressure after moving here. Now here's where Ohio shines: healthcare. Between Cleveland Clinic and Ohio State's medical network, you've got world-class doctors practically next door. You also get small luxuries that make life smoother: cheap diner breakfasts, functioning libraries, and public parks where admission means just go outside. But we've got to talk about the weather. Ohio can't commit to a mood. One day it's 70 and sunny, the next you're scraping ice off your windshield while questioning your life choices. Still, 4 real seasons beat endless humidity any day. Number 3, Oklahoma. The land of wide skies, tornado sirens, and rent so low it almost feels suspicious. But if you're living off Social Security, this state is basically the cheat code for staying comfortable and solvent. Let's talk numbers. The cost of living is around 14% below the national average. Median home prices hover near $185,000, and you can still rent a decent 1-bedroom for about $900. Social Security isn't taxed, groceries don't cost a kidney, and gas prices stay chill enough. Healthcare's better than people give it credit for. Tulsa and Oklahoma City have strong medical networks, and smaller towns offer solid clinics without the drive 3 hours for a checkup problem. Now, the catch, the homeowner's insurance, yeah, it's pricey. Oklahoma weather has an attitude, and tornadoes drop by like uninvited relatives. So if you're buying, budget for that. Renters, though, you're basically immune. Day-to-day life feels classic Americana. Big porches, community festivals, farmers markets, and more sky than you'll ever need. Number 2, West Virginia. This place's mountain calm meets budget bliss, and it's perfect if your Social Security check is doing all the heavy lifting. The cost of living runs 15 to 20% below the national average. Median home prices around $170,000. Rent, the $700 range in most towns. That's not cheap with a catch, that's just cheap. Taxes are practically doing you favors. The state's been phasing out its Social Security tax, so most retirees pay nothing. Property taxes average just 0.55%, which is so low it feels like a typo. Translation: you actually keep what you earn, a rare concept in 2025. Healthcare's improving fast. Charleston, Morgantown, and Huntington lead the pack with solid hospitals and senior-focused programs. Think prescription help, transit options, and community wellness networks. Rural areas are still catching up, but you're usually within an hour of good care. Lifestyle, straight out of a postcard. You've got mountain views, river towns, and old-fashioned friendliness that borders on suspicious if you're from a big city. Drive through Lewisburg, Elkins, or Bridgeport, and you'll wonder why everyone's in such a good mood. Probably because their rent isn't a horror story. Finally, at number 1, Kentucky. It takes the crown, not just for bourbon and bluegrass, but for being the rare state where your Social Security check actually stretches past the 15th. Let's hit the basics. Cost of living about 12 to 13% below the national average, median home price around $200,000, and rent that still lives in the 3-digit zone if you pick towns like Bowling Green, Richmond, or Georgetown. Even near Lexington or Louisville, prices stay sane. Taxes, chef's kiss. No tax on Social Security, and seniors get a $31,000 exemption on other retirement income. Property taxes, predictable and painless. That combo means you can buy groceries that aren't instant noodles, plan a weekend trip, or even splurge on Derby tickets without needing a second mortgage. Healthcare's rock solid. Lexington and Louisville boast top hospitals, and smaller towns have reliable clinics that don't make you wait until your next birthday for an appointment. Plus, senior services are everywhere. Meal programs, local transit, community centers, all run by people who still care about their neighbors. Then there's the lifestyle. Rolling hills, Red River Gorge, lake towns, bourbon distilleries, and downtowns where baristas know your name and your dog's favorite treat. Sure, the Wi-Fi lags in the countryside, and storms occasionally try out for reality TV, but Kentucky nails the retirement formula: cheap, chill, and charming. It's peaceful without being boring, affordable without being bleak, and full of people who'll show up to help before you even ask. If retirement were a competition, Kentucky just won, and it didn't even have to try. 12 states. One simple truth: your Social Security check still goes the distance if you pick the right zip code. Whether you want mountain calm, Midwestern balance, Southern savings, or tax-free peace of mind, 2025 actually gives you real options. No ramen required. If this helped, tap subscribe, because your future self deserves a retirement that feels like living, not budgeting with anxiety.